I just saw the 1989 British black comedy fantasy movie How to Get Ahead in Advertising. Written and directed by Bruce Robinson, this film stars one of my favorite character actors, Richard E. Grant, as Dennis Dimbleby Bagley, an advertising executive who suffers a mental breakdown while trying to write an ad for a pimple cream, and his insanity manifests in Dennis thinking that a talking boil has begun to grow on his shoulder, getting bigger and bigger and more talkative, and eventually tries to take over his life as his wife, Rachel Ward, and boss, Richard Wilson, attempt to bring him back to his senses. You know what I really love? A movie that has a profound message that I can really get behind. And Dennis Bagley's epiphany that causes him to pit himself against capitalism and especially the propaganda of greed, advertising, and commercialism is just one such ideal I am fully committed to. I loved every agitated and manic word of proselytizing Bagley utters in his battle against consumerism, and I also enjoyed the lunatic ramblings of the Boyle, who makes the cynical and unscrupulous case for a free enterprise that is completely justified in taking over the lives of its subjects. And you know who else loved it? The late great Beatle George Harrison, whose production company bankrolled this venture. Richard E. Grant is phenomenal in something of a dual role, where he spews the satirical words of screenwriter Robinson in a non-stop torrent that doesn't end until the screen goes black at the last second. How to Get Ahead in Advertising is strange, fantastical, sharp, biting, and wickedly funny. And with a runtime right at the 90-minute mark, it's not long enough to wear out its welcome or become repetitive, which is why I graded it out at a 7.1. And if you know my grading scale, you'd know that a 7.0 to a 7.4 is great. And this is a great cannonball of a ride, hurtling at breakneck speed through the atmosphere to crash through your cozy little propagandized lives. But don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself and let me know what you think in the comments. Now I've got to run because the next movie I want to see is starting right this minute.